All right, well, welcome back to Rob's Arcade. Special hello to all my subscribers, all my Arcadian Arcadettes out there. Special hello to you guys, and thanks for tuning in once again to Rob's Arcade. Always good to see you guys here. And today's extra special because we're going to be trying a new segment. Now, I promised at the beginning of the season that we were going to be doing some new segments and some new stuff. And this is a new segment that I like to call Inside Robert's Head.
Inside Robert's Head.
Now, Inside Robert's Head is basically just a new segment where a lot of times, whether I'm watching a movie or a TV show, sometimes it's like reading a comic book, I'll get ideas or thoughts or notice things that maybe some other people don't notice, or just thoughts that I want to share with you guys. And I'm not really sure where that kind of fits in. So I thought I would just kind of come up with a new segment and share what's going on inside of my head as it's happening inside of my head. So here we go. First ever Inside Robert's Head.
Inside Robert's Head.
Now, for those of you who are unaware, I like to celebrate events and holidays and things like cinematically. Meaning, of course, like during Halloween, I like to watch, scary movies. During the holidays, I like to watch Christmas movies. During February, I like to watch romantic comedies. Let's see, then you got New Year's Eve, of course. There's Trading Places, Ghostbusters 2, New Year's Eve the movie. During St. Patrick's Day, you should watch like all 8 of the Leprechaun movies, I guess. During Independence Day, I like to do Jaws. I Know What You Did Last Summer. But I like to take it even a step further. And I do things like during the month of March, instead of just watching college basketball, I like to watch martial arts and do my martial arts madness in March. It's really hard to say. And then also, I like to do Bill Murray marathons during kind of like towards the end of the year with the Groundhog Day and Scrooge and Ghostbusters 2. And going into September, I like to do sci-fi September, kind of leading into the horror movie month of October. And just recently, I watched Predator 2. And perhaps I noticed a couple of things that the audience was meant to notice, but I'm not sure if everybody quite picked up on all of these things. So Predator 2, in my opinion, was not only a great example of an action movie, a great example of a great sci-fi movie, and also just a great example of a sequel, but it was very important because it helped establish the cinematic connection between the two worlds of Alien from the Alien movies and the Predator of course, the Predator films. Now, at the very end of Predator 2, just before Danny Glover and the Predator face off for the final time, we can see inside the Predator's trophy room where he has several skulls on display from around the universe. And in fact, we can see a skull from the movie Aliens, showing not only that these two characters exist in the same world, but have in fact come face to face. Now, this moment sent fans of both franchises flying out of their seat, hoping that we might actually see the two confront each other on the big screen. A similar reaction was had by fans at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, when we not only see the demise of Jason Voorhees, but at the end of the film, the clawed hand of Freddy Krueger coming up from the dirt, pulling him down into hell below, instantly triggering fans to hopefully see these two on the big screen, which we ultimately did. Now, there was also talks of another crossover with Ash from Evil Dead. We can see the Necronomicon here, also a little Easter egg in this film, but that's a whole other video altogether, and we'll get to that one another day. Now, fans of both franchises got their prayers answered, or maybe not, in 2004 and in 2007 with Alien vs. Predator and AVP Requiem. But I can't help but wonder if us fans weren't so focused on that one Easter egg at the end of Predator 2 that we were oblivious to all the other Easter eggs linking Predator to another fabulous sci-fi franchise character. And that character I'm talking about today is the Terminator. So take a little journey with me as I try to connect these two films and wonder why we never got a crossover between the Terminator and the Predator. So I know what you guys are thinking, like what? Terminator versus Predator? Like, how does that even work? Well, it's actually an idea that Dark Horse Comics has been playing around with for several decades. I mean, they've been crossing over Predator, Alien, Terminator, Batman versus Superman, all these characters all over the place, all together for decades now. And I think if you follow me through my little journey as I point out the little Easter eggs and connect the dots between the two franchises, you'll see that it's kind of a mystery as to why this really hasn't happened yet. Now, the first one is kind of an obvious one, but also kind of hollow and superficial, and that's just Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, he is the main star between both franchises, and I feel like the very first and probably the most important thread between the two. He not only helped establish the Terminator franchise, but also helped establish the Predator franchise. And so I feel like the public is just owed, if not just for that simple reason alone, that these two characters finally meet up. We've got a machine from the future that just won't stop until its target is dead, relentless. And then we have a Predator that preys upon its victims throughout the galaxy, picking off each one by one, using all these advanced weapons and tactics. I'm telling you, the two of these guys need to come together, and I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is just step one in my little journey here. All right, next up, we're going to talk logistically. All right, so of course, Alien and Predator kind of make sense because, well, they spend 95% of their time out in outer space, battling it out, invading other planets. So it just kind of seems to make sense that these two would eventually cross paths. But if you think about it, it's not that far of a stretch for the Terminator and the Predator to cross paths as well. Now, both have wound up in Los Angeles. And both have wound up in Los Angeles actually in the early 90s. So not only does it work logistically, but also time-wise, they could kind of almost seem to cross paths, almost like on side missions on their journeys between Terminator 2 and Predator 2. Or perhaps maybe the Predator figures out a way to go back in time to Los Angeles 1984 and stop the Terminator before he takes out Sarah Connor. I don't know. But we all know the original Terminator takes place in Los Angeles. T2, the Terminator shows up again, this time to protect John Connor instead of eliminated him. And of course, in Predator 2, Predator trades in his muggy, humid jungle for, well, the hot concrete jungle of Los Angeles. So it would make sense that the two could be just walking down the street on a hot day in LA and happen to bump into each other, man. Well, my third connection is probably the most embarrassing connection and saddest connection, but it is an important connection because it is a connection to the Terminator franchise. In Predator 2, we see Gary Busey at the very end, after everyone thinks he's bit the bullet, jump out with his big gun and say, "Guess who's back?" Well, this is clearly a call out to Arnold Schwarzenegger for his infamous line, "I'll be back." Kind of like, I think, a little jab at him as a character from the very first movie, like, you're not back, I'm back, right? But I think it's also important because it's not just a jab at Arnold Schwarzenegger, but also a jab at Terminator, because, I mean, that's the movie, the franchise that kind of made that line infamous to this day. I think if we all say, "I'll be back," we all know exactly what we're talking about, Terminator. So it might be a little weak and it might be a little embarrassing and it's kind of a cheesy line, but it's definitely another connecting and another little piece of thread tying these two franchises together. I'll be back.
Oh man, and there's no way we can forget the bathroom scenes, right?
Now, in both of the Predator 2 and the original Terminator films, we can see both franchise characters getting their butts kicked from time to time. And whenever this happens, for some reason, they retreat to these really disgusting, dirty apartment hotel bathrooms in order to apply first aid, which isn't only gross, but something we never really see the alien character do in any of the movies. Also, it's kind of ironic to me that while this is going on, both characters are being bothered by people outside of the door carrying brooms. Just very, very weird parallels going on there. But this also suggests that these two characters not only have matching like hand-to-hand combat and war tactics, but in-field medical training as well. You put all this together, and these two characters were like made to battle it out on the big screen, perhaps even more so than the alien character was meant to battle the Predator. I don't know. Just seems like these guys are, I don't know, like bathroom buddies to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for my final piece, my final connection between Terminator and Predator, I'm gonna get a little nerdy on you, a little nerdy, and break out the equation board. We're gonna use science to prove this, science and equations and such, and all of that. Now, this is what I call the Bill Paxton theorem, okay? Now, Bill Paxton, as we know, appeared in the original Terminator movie as a punk. All right, so we're gonna have this up here, Terminator, okay? Terminator's gonna be A. Oh no, it's already got a letter, it's gonna be X, okay? Terminator's gonna be X, okay? Bill Paxton was also in Predator 2. Okay. As well as Aliens. It's Alien 2, okay? So we can write this down here. Aliens. And Aliens is going to be Y. Predator is going to be Z, okay? We all following along so far? Bill Paxton is A, okay? So, if we connect all the sides here, okay, to this triangle, all these sides are going to come out to be the exact same, okay? Because if you take A plus X, it's going to equal A plus Y, and it's going to equal A plus Z, because this is one of those triangles that has all the same measurements on the inside. And so basically what we're stating is if this Bill Paxton here can exist and the Predators can also exist here, right, in this universe, then it would just make sense that this Bill Paxton here and this Bill Paxton here could exist, as well as the Terminators and the Predators. And I guess also the Terminators and the Aliens as well. It can go all around either way. So there you go. Even scientifically, there is proof and Easter eggs within the Predator 2 film for a crossover with the Terminator. So let's go ahead and wrap it all up, guys. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger, we have logistically and on the timeline in 1990, 91, we have Los Angeles. We have Gary Busey's awful line, "Guess who's back?" Kind of a little connecting there to the original Predator as well as the original Terminator film. And then of course we have the bathroom buddy scene where they both like to go to the bathroom, kind of tidy up. Just kind of makes sense that they might even run into each other in a bathroom in the 90s. Oh, I didn't know you. Sorry, excuse me. And then of course we have the Bill Paxton theorem here. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys agree with me, if you would like to see something like this happen, hit the comment section down below. This would be a great, like I said, jump off point. You know, Dark Horse Comics has been playing with these ideas of alien versus Predator and Terminator for a very, very long time. It's happened in the comics. I don't see why it can't happen on the big screen. And if there's something that you guys have noticed in other films, kind of connecting these guys in the past that I might have missed, please, again, comment down below and let me know. Anyway, really hope you guys enjoyed this film. It was a lot of fun talking to you and just getting inside my head, what's out there on the ground there, and lay it all out for you. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button. If you didn't, go ahead and hit the dislike button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, hit the share button. Let's get more people in here. All right, guys. Well, of course, as always, this isn't goodbye. It's just to be continued. Until next time, I'll be back. Don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Peace.